Still awake? Shall I get everyone to stand up and sit down again, just to shake your legs? So I thought what might be helpful is if we then hand this over to you. So please feel free to ask anything you like, say anything you like. Just 1 second, I promise, otherwise your hands will be up for ages. If you put your hand up, ask a question, I'll repeat it on the microphone so we can all hear it, and then we can give it a go at giving it an answer. I am impossible to offend, so you can be as rude as you want, and it won't matter. And I think the thing that strikes me watching that stood here is just feeling how much we're relying on you, and I hate to say it, but to get Trump back in 2020. I can't even imagine a time after his next term. I'm just going with, I know, I can't even. None of us can maybe, but all I know right now is there is a vast swathe of Europe, Western Europe, relying on Americans to get out and vote. The 64 million, we need every one of you to take a friend, really, because without you, I don't know where we look to for hope, so I don't want to land you with that. What I will say is that you have the best supermarkets on the planet. Marie took me to Costco today. Oh my God. There is joy still to be found on this planet. We bust into that place. First of all, she goes, you go get the cart. I don't know what a cart is, but in my country we have a trolley. So I found the trolley. This will be brief, I promise. And then, so I go get the trolley. Where we go, when we have a trolley, we push the trolley like this. Quite ladylike, people put small dogs in them, trolleys. Carts, here. You're pushing it like this. Seriously, it's like riding an extra wide Harley. Yes. I don't know how you do this stuff. We go into Costco, she gets in with her card, you're flashing it like you're going into a nightclub. I'm coming in, I'm a Costco member, stand back. You have these TV screens like twice the size of my family home, on sale for like $4. What is that about? Then everything in the store is like 15 times the size of me. Like the milk containers you have, they have like 85 gallons in. You could fill a car with a milk container in this country. I'm going around taking pictures of the milk cartons, and this American woman's looking at me like I'm a complete psychopath. Like, what the hell is this woman doing? Everything is 85 times the size of normal. I felt like I was Alice in Wonderland who just drank the wrong potion and just ended up real small. Anyway, we get to the tip. This is Marie's special moment. So we get to the till, and evidently you need your card again, because you have to flash your card to get in, and if you want to pay, you're going to have to flash your card again. So he says to her, bear in mind you have the card when we walk through the door, because it's the only way we got in that goddamn place. So they say, where's your card? And she goes, and I kid you not, this is exactly what Marie did. 1 second. On what planet that is an appropriate response to a 16-year-old boy asking you for a card? But I'm like, Marie, I don't embarrass easily, I'm British and I'm quite rude. I've even got a book called Rude, right? And I'm like, Marie, get it together. What is going on? She goes, oh, I keep my card in my bra. I got out of that pretty quick. So what I'm saying is, there's still fun to be had, and even though this is slightly depressing as a documentary, we may still laugh. And one of the best things we have in our armory, as Republicans, as conservatives, as people who just want to put our family first, is humor. And I think that is key, is that we keep laughing when we can. Okay, enough of me. Yeah, really. Let me ask, I have to go, yes ma'am, sorry, you had your hand up for.
You could do stand-up comedy and make a lot more money, but you choose to do this, God bless you.
Thank you. I have considered prostitution as well.
Israel would welcome you.
Israel's so kind to me. I can't tell you.
They would welcome you.
When I go there, I get upset every time because people are so kind. And just to let you know, I've been on the road for quite a while now, and it's why I have 15 bags under my eyes and I look twice the age of her. Just so annoying. Everybody here looks so young. Oh. Anyhow, where's the mum? There you are. No, there you are. How old are you?
85.
Yes, I know. 85 makes me sick. I have to stand there looking at her. She looks half the age of me. Honestly, it's because you don't go to Costco, isn't it? Go to Israel, and the Jewish, leftist Jews, who are in partnership with the Muslims, they took this. I had a lovely theatre booked. Everybody took the tickets, 95 tickets, including all the people in this documentary. I wanted to say thank you to them. The leftist Jews shut it down. They didn't want this seen because they're in the pockets of the Muslims. They took away one venue. And my lovely Israeli friend said, no, they're not doing that to you. They got me another venue. This happened twice more. And in the end, we had a venue in the center of Jerusalem because the deputy mayor, who's a woman, stood up and went, not in my country, we're going to see this movie. And 50 beautiful Israelis still came and watched that movie, even though we didn't have a venue till the last minute. And I had a friend who had a PowerPoint projector in the back of her car, and I tell you, if they didn't give us a venue, I was going to blast it up on the walls of the holy city of Jerusalem, because I'm determined this thing will be seen. But you watch that movie, tell me, what were they shutting down? You know? What was so... If you're a Jewish organization, should you not be, maybe even if you disagree with everything and hate me, whatever, I don't mind. But really, shutting down this, that's where we're at. Sorry, I'll ask you, sir, you had your hand up before. Did you want to ask something?
They mentioned about grooming. What is it, grooming?
Oh.
What does that mean? I don't know.
So, you know, Americans are so smart. Because you just say the thing we should be saying. So, in the UK, we have a real problem with majority Pakistani male Muslim rape squads. They are raping our daughters. In Rotherham, it's a small town in the UK, small town run by Labour. That's not necessarily relevant, but it is. 2,000 girls were raped by gangs, 8 to 10 Muslim men. And they are sophisticated, they are smart, they are targeted. So they send in one of their best as a hook. Outside the school gates, in the shopping mall, places where maybe kids, daughters, my daughters, would hang out after school, you know, places to just be. They send in the best one. He smells nice. Maybe he offers to buy them some stuff. Maybe they're going to get a cigarette or even have a drink. He's got a lovely car. He's going to take them for a ride. And little by little, she becomes his girlfriend. And then before you know it, she's brought in. And these gangs are coordinated. They have a networker who then facilitates getting these girls into rooms, and before you know it, oh, if you really loved me, you would also service Mohammed and Ahmed and the rest. And the police don't want to be called racist, so they turn the girls away. The social workers don't want to be called Islamophobic, so they turn the girls away. And we systematically turned away from all these girls, and this has just come to light.
All over Europe.
All over Europe, and I just returned from Finland, because even in the most northerly place on the planet, the most northerly metro station there is, minus 40 degrees, I was damn cold, and I don't like the cold. Costco freezer section was enough for me, and I was in Oman. There was only 4 hours daylight, for goodness sake, but because Finland wanted to show off its multicultural credentials, even Finland decided to take Muslims from Syria. And so now they're in a forest in the middle of Finland, pitch black, minus 40 degrees. What do you think they're doing for their spare time activity? Going to the malls and they're raping the girls. And the imam in the mosque in Finland, teaches, I got the literature, I went to the mosque. He has a lollipop, you know the sticky lollipops on a stick with a wrapper over? The teaching in the mosque is that the lollipop covered, the lollipop, is a good lollipop. There's a lollipop uncovered. Like white girls, uncovered, covered in flies. And the lesson is, if you're an uncovered girl, you are trash, and the flies can use you as they choose. And that's how the boys see our daughters. So this fight is real, and this fight is honest, and sir, your point is incredibly astute, which is the disservice our media does us is not only to prevent people speaking the truth, it uses special words to hide the truth. So rape squads become grooming gangs. Majority Pakistani Muslim men become Asians. We had a rape squad operating in Oxford, you know, Oxford University, town of learning and culture. You know what they called the majority Pakistani rape squad? Men of Oxford. I mean, please. So it's this sort of, you know, use of words to deceive. At every level we're being betrayed. So that's what grooming gangs are. And I prefer to call them rape squads, actually, because I think we do a disservice by trying to make them sound like a dog grooming parlour. Like honour killings. Oh, really? Yeah, so honourable. Really. Yes, ma'am.
You brought up something the other night that I thought had a big, profound impact on everyone. You had said about how the British people don't have respect for the military. Like here, we always say, thank you for your service. And you were telling us that they get, that people spit on them, and they can't have flags outside their homes, because Americans are so patriotic. And I know, not all, we all know that, but you were saying in England, nobody's allowed to be patriotic anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you.
Because it's so powerful when you were talking about that.
Would you mind turning off the projector?
I don't want to get in front of you, I was
Oh,
thinking the
dear.
very same thing.
Everyone needs a break from my face every now and then. Look at this man go. Look, that is power right there. Yes. Yes. You can be husband number 5. Trough is down at 4, just so you know. You can call me Melania, thank you. How fabulous is she? I loved her in England. Oh, she dressed just like Lady Di, I tell you. So many of us looked when she was standing there, and it was like we had Lady Di back. It was really emotional. The way she gave a tribute to those boys was you won't hear it in the media, but all of us saw what she did. She just let us know that she is the quiet people's princess as well. I love her, I love her, I love her. Anyhow, going back to what you were saying, yes, so I was sat at Delta. I spent a long time on the floor of Newark Airport, I sat there and I love just watching people, because you learn so much, don't you? You learn so much about people by just watching. And then I was listening to the lovely guy calling the flights. So one thing, are people that call flights, right, we're going aboard now. Okay, we hate you all. You're all utter gits and we're going aboard now and I hate you, so do it quickly. That is a British person. That is a British person doing boarding. Like they act like they hope that your plane crashes. And their faces are like they're sucking on a lemon at the funeral of someone they didn't like. You guys are amazing at this stuff. You're like, we are now going to board this flight. Yes, we are. And I'm like, woo! I'm just like excited to get on. I'm trying to get on any plane because I'm just genuinely excited to be excited because we're excited. Anyway, so I'm trying to break onto every plane there is, and everyone's like, no, go away, you crazy lady. Then they go, and we're inviting our service personnel to board first. Thank you for your service. So now I'm crying in the terminal because you go patriotic on me, you've got me any day of the week. So now I'm weeping, they're thinking about locking me up because I've already tried to get on 8 flights I shouldn't be on. What a beautiful thing you do. I've seen you guys in the street, I see you in stores. There's a guy in uniform, you'll say thank you for your service. It breaks my heart. In my country it can't happen, it won't happen. Our lads are told to take their uniforms off before they leave barracks because they will be attacked. Lee Rigby was set upon with a machete, he was run over and then he was butchered in the street with a meat cleaver. And we're not allowed to talk about Lee Rigby because it's not convenient. They even use British taxpayers' money to help those monsters appeal their guilty verdict. They butchered him with a cleaver. We're not allowed to fly our St. George cross. Different to the Union flag, but the Union flag won't be flown anyway. You don't see a flag. Marie took me down to where you sell cars on Long Island. There's just flags everywhere. She took me for a walk around the neighborhood. There's just flags everywhere. We don't have that. If you fly the British flag, the St. George's Cross, you are likely to be asked to take it down. I had an email from a gentleman who rented an apartment in London. He put up the St. George, it's just a red cross, you know, it's a nice flag. And he was told by the landlord of the property, if you don't take that down, you're out. It's a racist symbol. A racist symbol, our own flag. And that's the way it's perceived. People are warned against flying it because it's a sign of an extremist. In our British Army barracks, they just had a literature thing put on their walls. If someone talks about their country or being proud of their country, that's a warning sign. If they fly a St. George's Cross, a warning sign. If they add the word Stan to any town or city like I do, Londonistan, that's a warning sign, and that's for other soldiers to report them for being an extremist. They just redid the British Army advert. Used to be the best, with a little march. Loved it. Everything I wanted it to ever be. Everything. They just changed it to show a Muslim soldier praying on exercise. And the rest of the forces looking round and, you know, being supportive and sympathetic. recruiting Muslims directly into our British Army. So I tell you, hold on to what you have. It's a joy. You see a service personnel, I know you guys do it every day. If I see one, I thank them for their service. I do it loudly, and I feel happy and glad that you still do it here. Yes, ma'am?
How long exactly did it take for this horror to happen? Because I see right now with our open border, and I hate it for it to be like, welcome to the United States of Latin America. That troubles me. We don't know what's coming in, so just on a scale like...
So to speak, you know how smart these guys are. They have endless patience. They'll wait this thing out. They're patient. At the same time as being incredibly patient, they're moving at considerable speed. And they are strategic players. So like rape squads, nothing accidental there, nothing casual. Systematic, strategic, organized. There's a system, a hook, an organizer, a networker that sends the girls up and down the country. With this, again, you've seen them build the latest mosque, a Latin American mosque. They're already ahead of us. They're working on the basis that the next biggest population shift in America will be that South America's coming here. They're creating a mosque run by South Americans, recruiting directly in. So I just came back from McAllen before I went to Israel, before. Anyway, I was at McAllen. I went to, I can share it with you actually, that might be helpful, might get the video I took there. I went to one of the Catholic Charities Mission, is that the correct term? I apologise. Catholic Charities Mission, whatever. I'm stood at the door. I've opened the door already to stick my head in. I was going to pretend to be a sort of volunteer or interested person or someone wanting to donate. Like hell, I'm going to donate. And it was full of migrants on the inside, bustling about, mums, children, all of them straight from the border. Anyway, so I'm stood outside, get my phone out, and up pulls 4 border force vehicles, the big minivans, you know the ones with the green stripe? 4 of them, full. Each one full, 20, I guess, 22, 24, I don't know what they seat. Migrants in each. Women, children, no men, all women and children, because they get more money per head for children and more money for women than you get for men. Those are being delivered by Border Force straight to the Catholic Charities Centre in McAllen for distribution, and they take their cut. This is the systematic, hugely profitable movement of human flesh, just like in the days of old. And when I was filming, and hence I think it would be useful for you to have this on your site, the woman from the centre is yelling at me, "Stop your filming! Stop your filming, ma'am. Ma'am, if you keep on filming," because I'm just saying, well, I'm just filming the arrival. "If you keep on filming, you know what's going to happen. The people traffickers will know these people are here and they will come to try and extort more money out of them." So she's acknowledging on film, a worker from the Catholic Charities, that these are trafficked people they are bringing in via the border force that you pay to protect your country. I mean, this is what we're up against. It's big.
Yes, how do you turn this around?
Yes, what's the solution? I know, and this is one of the really frustrating things, because I always want to go behind that little desk there and go, well, look, it's this inflatable flamingo will save us all. I'm selling them for $2. I don't have that to give you. But what I do know is the more people we wake up, and we're pretty awake here, I mean, apart from the ones that have nodded off, but we're pretty awake here. And the more that we keep opening people's eyes, even getting people to question, even getting people to say, "I hate that Hopkins woman, she's a pain in the ass," but actually, oh yeah, she did say, oh yeah, she's a pain in the ass, I hate her. The more we wake people up, the more we win. And at a very personal level, we win by getting back to what we always did the very best, which is why it's the smallest things here that make me cry. It's the saying thank you to your service personnel. It's the respect you still have on the street. People say hello and goodbye. If something bad happens, there's a rush of Americans to try and help someone if they've fallen. Your families, I think that's where we really need to get back. Even if someone's not speaking to you in your family, we have to try and say, hey, let's reach a point where we go so far away from the thing we've disagreed with, we're at a point where we can still be round a table together. Because we have to try and hold on to our families, because if they get in amongst our families, that's where we're stuffed. And in the UK, of course, we have the trans map here, you have the trans agenda here, where children can trans from. In the UK, a British school is legally allowed to transition a child from boy to girl or girl to boy without informing the parents or without parental consent. A lady I know went to school for parents' evening. You know, where you have your teacher chit-chats and they tell you your child's either great or a pain in the ass. Bobby. She went to parents' evening, and at parents' evening she found out her daughter was transitioned to a guy at school. Never found out. And we're at the state where, of course, you can't speak out about it. You are not allowed to say there is only 2 genders. So a lady with 5 children, I know, she's a lovely lady, a Catholic. She was arrested in front of her 5 children because she accidentally misgendered someone who changed from male to female. She was arrested and held in a prison cell. So the level of pushing that divisiveness of our children, what you are and what you want, what sex you are and what you aren't, that's now police enforced in my country. This is the screwies that we're doing. Sorry, yes?
2 things. One,
Yeah.
you mentioned when you were in Israel, the leftists, during the Holocaust, there were the kapos. These are the modern-day kapos, and
Yeah.
they're on the loose in this country also with the left. But what I wanted to ask you, or really suggest, is your message is very powerful about what's going on in the UK, what's going on across Europe. You're talking about, you know, we need to help get Trump reelected. New York is not such a great state. Now, you have a speaking tour where you can go speak in the swing states where people need to hear your message because they're sometimes on the fence, and we need to get the message through to them about what we have to lose if Trump doesn't get reelected. So, are you about to go to those kind of states?
Yes, so I'm doing it with or without help. Yes, I'm going. If I have to run up and down naked with a Trump flag stuffed in any office that I have, this is going to happen.
Michigan, Pennsylvania, states
Hey,
like that.
I'm so with you, although I did just come from Michigan. So I left Michigan to come here, I think.
Right.
So we're in Michigan, so I've just come back from Jerusalem, so I've just been in the heart of Jerusalem with Homelands. Then I'm coming to Michigan, and Pastor McKay, brilliant guy, runs the Baptist church there. It's really fancy. I've never seen a church like it. Our churches are all run down. This was like a hotel. I was like, I am moving in. Do you do bed and breakfast? Pastor McKay's like, no, this is a church. Anyway, so he ran a Homeland screening. Bless him. 250 people came to that church in Michigan. So we are bringing this. And that room there was a joy in that room, not because of this message, but because we were all in the same place together. And in Michigan, you really are alone, because you're right up against it. So I have actually put a thing together to do a tour of the swing states, the states that are looking slightly dodgy. I'm such a positive person, but the one thing I will say on that, I don't know if any of you know the Middle East Forum. Yeah. So I put it to them, but it's not something that's consistent with their message because they are working. They don't want to sort of speak out against Islam.
Yeah.
So this is the challenge we have. You'll see it often, I'm sure. People who are wanting to create a certain message about Islam, but not speak truthfully about it. Fox is going that way, as we know. But the greatest threat America faces today is Islam.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And if they put me in prison, I'm still saying that. Or when they put me in. Yeah, for sure.
It kind of ties in. I was going to ask, because I knew you had been to Michigan.
Yes.
And I wanted to know if you, because you know, they have a problem, the
Oy.
Muslim.
Yeah.
And if how it was, or if you noticed, because
Yeah.
that's what I
Oh, yeah.
hear.
Did you go to
You know,
Dearbornistan?
they've taken that, and they're going.
You're so right. You're so right. So the time before, I've been there a few times. Yeah, I get about it, as we say. But I bussed into Dearborn Mosque. I didn't bust in. I pretended to be terribly interested and so fascinated, and I'm so respectful of my ass. So I got inside there. I was taken for a tour. And I got sold that crappy line about, oh, well, the Quran is virtually the Bible, is virtually the Torah. Like, we talk about Jesus more than you talk about Jesus. Interfaith, interfaith, interfaith. And I was like, bleh. And I was like, oh, but why is it that women go at the back? Oh. And he goes, because if you have a beautiful diamond, what do? You cover it up. And I was like, your ass, do you? You put it on your finger and you show it the hell off. So I didn't go down so well at Dearborn. But what I would say is, having spent more time, more seriously amongst the population, speaking to the Muslim population there, it's well on step 3. So this goes like this. It goes step 1, flood an area with a Muslim population. Let's just take London, for example. So out of all those boroughs, 5 boroughs in London, get rid of all the locals, get rid of all the whites. They're not actually physically threatening them, although my Jewish friends in Paris are being told to get out or they'll kill them. But you're just getting in there, you move in, you change the area so people are moving out because they don't want to live there anymore because it's now messy, there's litter on the floor, it's dirty, the schools are all teaching every other language but English. We don't know anyone anymore. Now, where there used to be one family, now there's 5. 5 Muslim families, often with 7, 8 people perhaps, all voting, all registered for postal votes because it's coordinated. So now you have a densely packed Muslim population, step 1. Step 2, you're building facilities to fund and mobilise that population. You're always somewhere with, is that for me? How old do you think I am? Because frankly, that is insulting. Take it away. Oh Christ, how old do I look? Oh my God, I've never been offered a chair before. Actually, it's not entirely true. So I have a bit of a thing about fat people being lazy. So I put on half my body weight. I put on 4 stone. So I put on 52 pounds to prove that if I wanted to get fat by stuffing my face, I could. I'm that much of an asshole, I know. And when I was really fat, because I had eaten too much, I was offered first place in the line at the toilets in the bathroom because people thought I was pregnant. And I was too humiliated to explain everything, so I just took the first place in the line. Back to the story. So, flood an area with a densely packed Muslim population. 2, build mosques, endless mosques. What are you building if you build something? A mosque. What are you building if something gets knocked down? A mosque. What are our politicians promising mosque populations that they're going to do with the parking lot that's just about to become free? They're going to promise them, I've got the footage, he's promising them a mosque. He's not even going to put the property up for sale. Seriously. They're building a mosque. Now, what are those mosques? Are they places of worship? No. Are they us? They are banks. They are the places where they fund, facilitate. They're the exchange of what they need, the equipment, the necessaries, the funding. Now you've got that funding flown in, and no one's got a grip on where it's coming from, who it's going to, who's providing it, what country it's coming from. You have other countries throwing money into this takeover of yours, as you well know. So that's step 2. Step 3. Now the mosque is going to tell you how you're going to vote. Now the imam dictates how you vote. And you see this passing on of power from Muslim to Muslim. Keith Ellison hands the baton straight over to our little furry friend, Ilhan Omar. You see how she changed? Isn't she interesting? Oh, the orange and the... Oh, she's sort of tropical. Wow, she's sort of colourful and dynamic. What is she doing now? Black, black, black. All very Muslim, all very dramatic. Now she's got political power. Now people aren't voting for policy or something that makes sense. They're voting according to their religion. And the imam's dictating who's going to win. And in my country, Peterborough, we just had an election. They went round, collected up the postal ballots and filled them in for the people in exchange for cash. Now, so you're at 3, Dearborn's at 3. 4 is the Islam Party. So Belgium, you know Belgium, where the EU Parliament is, Belgium waffles, I guess. Also where the jihadi capital of Europe is located. The Bataclan killers, remember the Bataclan? Came from Belgium. The Brussels bombers came from Belgium. If there's been an attack in the UK, Paris or otherwise, they've come from Belgium. What did Belgium just do? Took back jihadis, 6 returning jihadis back to Belgium. After the Bataclan killers had done their killing, where did they go back and were hidden for 4 weeks by the people who lived there? Belgium. Belgium has the Islam Party. So now you have a political party specifically geared to Muslims, just about religion. And their policies are segregated transport and covered women. Step 4. Dearborn will be, I predict, the first place in America to go to step 4. So that's, I don't know where we went with the question, but God knows where I went with the answer. I mean, truly, can I talk? Seriously, you guys are going to be 85 by the time you get out of here. How many more questions am I allowed to do, Marie? All right.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. Are you listening or not?
I was
Is
saying I'm walking past the camera.
Seriously, you just
You're
check. What do you
walking
check?
past the camera.
Donuts? What? Costco. How many more questions am I allowed now?
Oh, you have
Should we keep
15 or 20
going?
minutes.
When you get tired and bored, can you just say, because I never want to impose.
You're fine.
Okay. Tell me when I'm not fine. Just go. Yes, ma'am.
The black community in the UK, I mean, is there a substantial that are non-Muslim black community?
Yeah.
Where are they?
I tell you. I mean, okay. Problematic, terribly bad. gangs in London, okay? Mostly black gangs. And we are losing young black men. I mean, we're Chicago, but worse, because we have a smaller population. I mean, people say, oh yeah, but what about America? Look at this statistic. It's like, yeah, we've got a quarter of the people. But we are Chicago in London. This was the Trump tweet because we lost 6 young boys in a 20-hour period by being stabbed or shot. Bear in mind, we don't have knives or guns.
Knife control.
Yeah, we have nothing. So, and it's mostly, so it's gangs in different zip code areas, and there's like a war over who controls drugs. So that's one problem, but it's located in London, and that's why no one does anything about it, because they're killing each other. It's disgusting but true. But you know what? In the brilliant, brilliant rest of the UK, a lovely place I love, and where we call home as well, I was in a hotel just the other day. It was just a kind of normal hotel, and there was this brilliant noise. It was the sound of people singing and praying and praise the Lord. And it was exciting, and I was with the dullest guy on the planet. Seriously. I had to meet him about something. He was that boring. I was like, oh, I'd rather be dead. And I heard this noise. So I thought, right, go see what they're doing, because it's much more fun. I was like, would you excuse me a minute? And he said, yes, I will. And I dashed off to this room where I could hear the noise coming from. And it was Nigerian Christians. And they were all together in this hotel in the middle of nowhere, and they meet once a year, every year. There was hundreds of them with their children. All the women were dressed in the most fabulous outfits, all incredibly beautiful, all with babies on, and all singing and praising the Bible together, and feeling better about themselves. So there is a huge population of Christians in the UK that we have not reached out to well enough yet. I think it's true in America too. We could do a better job in our African American churches. I mean, I don't know how, I don't know the answer, but I know I don't do a good enough job of it in the UK. So I made a commitment to get myself in gear, but I spent a long time in that room and hid from the boring guy and stayed with the Nigerian Christians. So there is hope in that community for us, for sure. Oh, I'm scared of being the wrong person. Yes?
I have a question, but it's...
You also have really good teeth.
Oh.
Americans have such good teeth, it's so ashaming. It's all I can see. I went to see Michael's sons the other day, and they were all stood in their driveway smiling, and I was like, God, will you put it away? I was talking to a guy, where was he? At an event I was at, he was like, so sorry, you did have a question, but never mind, do you know about your teeth? We're talking about your teeth. And he went, oh yeah, so I'm a dentist, and immediately I have to, like, because, you know, British people have the worst teeth on the planet. The only person that has worse teeth than me is Nigel Farage. Yeah, he had bad breath too, so just so you know. So sorry, yes, to the point, yes, please.
My question is visual.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is on
please
my
don't
blog.
be a video of me.
No, this, on my blog, I noticed that, this family moved in about 2 years ago, and I'm noticing on the front, there's this Arabic...
Is that a black flag?
It's not a flag, it's an Arabic symbol. A neighbor asked them what it means, and they said beautiful.
Oh.
Beautiful.
Bull.
And they bought the house next door to them, and they rented it out. And I'm wondering if this is part, if this...
Yeah, where did they get their money from?
Right.
They've got 2 houses.
2 houses, yeah.
Can you get a close-up of the picture of what they're flying, what they've got on their
I'm
building?
going to try it.
Yeah, get it to me and I'll find out what it actually says.
What town?
Yeah.
Where is it? What town?
It's in Lakeview, West Hampstead.
Yeah, just get in there and get some pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll find out. Yes, sir.
I'm not sure how to ask this. I always ask this. So let's take, whether it's England, take it Germany, whatever. So somebody decides, some genius in politics, we need all these immigrants because the regular people don't want to work. But the people that they're bringing over, I think it's like 70% are on welfare. So somewhere my brain says, somebody's paying these politicians off, whether it's Qatari money or whatever.
Yeah.
What are you seeing? How do you explain this to you? And what happened?
So it's a little bit like the model that's being used by the Catholic Charities Commission, I think, or Catholic Charities Mission, I apologise. There is massive cash in this.
Yes.
There is vast, I mean, untold wealth to be had. So between the people moving these people, the Catholic Charities taking their cut, the people moving them taking their cut, other people turning a blind eye where they shouldn't, taking their cut, the hotels that are going to be filled up with these migrants because that's where they put them. All of our hotels are filled up with these people. They take their cut. Somewhere on the top of all this, someone's taking more than just a cut. This is a huge business, and moving people has ever been thus. And so my leaders, I think, have been entirely bought out by Saudi. So I think that's the money. And if you follow the money, that's where I think he goes. But the other point is, we've lost, this is where Trump is completely different to anyone else on the planet, apart from Salvini, Bolsonaro, the people that will stand with you. He's completely different to any other leader on the planet because he wants to put your country first. And that is what he just call that a bring every mortgage thing, where if you've been paying your mortgage, you haven't been in arrears, you've paid off every instalment, you are about to be able to pay off your mortgage in half the amount of time, helping the middle class in America. I mean, finally, someone cares about the hard workers in this country. Please be. So, but our leaders, managing the decline of your country is a very profitable thing. Imagine it like a beautiful house. You can try really hard, you can work really hard, you can try and mend the outside, you can put stones on the outside to make it look more impressive. It's expensive, but at the end of it you might be proud of your house. That is Trump. In our country, you got a house, let it run down. Let it fall apart, but keep charging the rent from each room. Because in your lifetime, you're still going to make it good money, you're still going to stay in power, but you manage the decline of our country, and that's what our politicians are doing. It's very upsetting. Yeah, well, California, I mean, really. I know. I have to take, you know, entire body wipes just to get through California, just to sort of disinfect myself against those hideous people. I spent quite a lot of time on Skid Row, actually. No, typhus is coming.
Yes.
A plague is coming. On Skid Row, you know, you're slipping about there in just human feces. I read a thing about London just before the plague, and it talked about how the streets were slippery with human waste. You know, on Skid Row, you're falling over in human waste. The rats literally run as you walk. And you speak to some of the coherent people on Skid Row and they'll tell you, they're keeping us like this. They want us like this. They need us dependent like this. And every day they bring their food, every day they bring their whatever, every day they provide the shower that they ignore in the facilities. They keep them like it, because that's how they want them.
Why?
It is. Just the dependency.
Lives
Oh,
not
yeah.
far away.
Yeah. Yeah, she lives a nice flash place with a nice fence, for sure.
What was the tipping point in Britain? I was there in the late 70s, early 80s, and, you know, we had Pakistani, Indian, you know, kind of situation.
Lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't quite get this feeling.
No.
And the thing is, you're a microcosm for our country. We're vast, and we have a media that we have a propaganda machine that pumps out this information. What was the tipping point in terms of?
Yes, we had, you know, as we were trying to allude to in the documentary, probably not done as well as it could have been. You know, our people that used to join us from across the colonies, the Indians that used to join, so hard working.
It was a breakdown of the empire.
But they would outwork us any day of the week. You know, they were the guys running the stores. Their daughters would outperform our children in school because they just work so hard. We love them. They're brilliant. And they are deeply ashamed of what's happened. It's the uncontrolled, open border, endless arrival of people who no longer want to work, who only want to take. That was the tipping point when we opened our borders and said to Europe, come on in. And then Europe opened its borders and said to all of Africa, come, we will house you. That was the point. That's where we lost everything.
But you have the same media, you know.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
you know, that you know, people over here, we really, you know, you say we're in New York, which is a nightmare.
Yes.
However, as you go across this country, it's a vast country.
Yes.
And so, but that news media goes across this whole nation, which is a major problem.
Well,
But
one
I
of the
think you're
joys,
much
yeah.
smaller.
No, well, our media is a shocker. We had Fox even removed from our TV because we weren't allowed to watch it anymore.
But you have
It's
Sky
full.
News, right?
We had Sky, but Sky is but Fox was taken from the TV, was taken off TV, so British people couldn't watch it anymore. Like, well, that's the...
Is it that way now?
Yeah, it's still got, it can't come back.
Oh, really?
It can't come back. Yeah, it's so leftist, I can't tell you. But the persecution that goes on is at a, you know, I used to be a columnist in newspapers. I used to work for The Sun, the biggest print journal. I was fired from that job. Then I had a column with the Daily Mail, Mail Online, Daily Mail. I was fired from that job when I refused to unsay the things I wanted to say in a column. I used to have a radio show. I was fired from that. So the ability, the scope of being able to speak is gone. And then they send the attack dogs at you. So there was a jihadi plot to behead me. The government did a play called The Assassination of Katie Hopkins. I've been arrested a bunch of times, but been interviewed under caution for a column I wrote in a newspaper about migrants, calling them feral humans. I stand by those words. They are feral humans. I was arrested and cautioned by the Major Crime and Homicide Command of the Metropolitan Police for saying those things. Yeah, I'll be there in a second, Marie. Yeah, I have eyes. Yeah, I have special eyes too. Yeah. And so, yeah. So that happens, and then my children often are reported to social services because once they take your jobs, they take your house, they take your, well, they try to take your freedom, they try to take your children. So social services rightly come and check on my children, and I respect that they need to do that. They have open access to my home, but you can't help but wish they were, you know, maybe prioritising the children that are being plucked off by these rape squads that we suffer from. Okay, now, who did Marie want me to speak to? Was it you?
Ray and the back and Michelle.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Lord knows a lot to be depressed about, to be aware of, to fight against. But I'd like to probably focus on something a little more positive for a moment.
Yeah, good.
And get your perspective, because a lot of the things you're talking about, how you can go to jail for saying the wrong thing.
Yes.
And all these knife attacks in London. I'd like your perspective on our First and Second Amendments to our Constitution. I figure that'll cheer us up a little bit.
Oh, God, I hope I'm not that depressing.
No, it's not you, it's the subject.
Yeah, it is a tough subject. I said to Marie, actually, the other day I showed this, and I came away thinking, oh, I don't know if I prefer just doing talks, because with talks I can have a lot of fun, and, you know, we come away with a message and we also laugh a lot. But Marie's like, well, you have to be serious sometimes. So, she's right. So yes, there is levity to be had, I totally agree with you. And I think it's important that we find the fun all the time.
Not about fun so much as protection against these
I know.
things.
So, the NRA, I adore. I just found a t-shirt in Israel, which is Guns and Moses. I've got an event in London on the 2nd of July, screening, and the Jewish community.
Is that in Hebrew?
I know, I just think it's in large letters right across.
Like Guns N' Roses.
And the Jewish, leftist Jews are trying to shut down the event in London. They're already bussing in, they're going to bus in Antifa. So I intend to rock up with my Guns N' Moses t-shirt on and ride that thing out. But yes, your First and Second Amendment, truly, I mean, even the Constitution, I mean, really, who sat down and wrote that thing all those years ago, and it's still the best thing that's ever been written, in my personal view. I would make it wallpaper. I would have my children recite it when they woke up. If they said, Mom, can I get a lift into? I'd say, right, recite me 3 pages of the Constitution, I'll take you. That is the way you need to parent in this country. Make them learn that stuff.
Because the only hope that I have is that...
Final point is I joined the NRA. I can't have a weapon in my country. The biggest weapon that I have is the left, and they're a weapon without realising it. And I have an NRA sticker in my car, a car sticker. So all these other mothers, these disgusting, pathetic mothers that are just like, don't know what's going on the planet. They have little stickers in their car saying "child on board" or "drive safely, child." Like that's going to make a difference. Whoever read one of those stickers and thought, "Oh, I must be more careful"? And I have a little sticker on my car saying NRA,
target, actually.
and I just like it. Keep your distance from me. Marie and I were walking around the other day, and she had her NRA hat on, and some idiot from behind it. Obviously, normally it's me in the street. People are saying stuff to her. They were like, "Don't shoot me." And we were like, really? That's the best you got. So yeah, love your First and Second Amendment, and absolutely I'm a paid up member of the NRA and will be. Yeah. Who haven't I asked? Michelle, your mum says I have to speak to you.
I think you should move to America.
Yes.
But wait, just hold on.
What
I think you should really do is go after Catholic charities for all their horse shit that they pulled, because they brought the Muslims in and they're persecuting the Christians, and the Catholic charities was behind that. And they got money for that. So I know it's not just them. but it's a big part. It's not just the southern border. Catholic Charities, you should do a documentary about that, Katie, and you'll be set, and you would get donations from rich people, and I'm telling you, and then you can live in America. Get your NRA sticker.
I can't leave my country now. So I was supposed to be in the military. I was always supposed to be a soldier. I was going to be the first female general, that was. I went through selection. I was sponsored through university by the military, and I went to Sandhurst after. I was sponsored by the Royal Intelligence Corps. My father said I must have got someone else's offer. Very rude. I went through Sandhurst. We started as a platoon of 30 girls. They used to call us the lumpy jumpers. Some were more disappointing than others. And I came out as one of 8 at the end. And I figured if I got through the academy, I was also an epileptic, but it was just suspected. And I figured if I get through the academy, they'll see that I'm capable and I can do this, and my epilepsy won't matter. That turned out not to be the case, and I was medically discharged later, and I couldn't do the career I wanted to do. But that's not a sob story. I can see now, you know, older and wiser, that an epileptic with a semi-automatic weapon may not be the best idea for my platoon that I ever had. But I have actually had brain surgery and I'm cured now, so I don't have epilepsy and I continue my fight. But I won't leave my country. I get letters from older people and that need chairs. And they say to me, I'm glad my time here is nearly up, so that I don't have to see my country fall. And if I read one of those, that's enough to keep me going for another six years alone. So, yeah, I won't leave my country, but I need to put my children in a safer place. Yes, ma'am?
That's my question. When's it being uprising in the UK? People are, where's the silent majority? I think you had enough.
How can they uprise? They have no weapons.
What are they going to use, a plastic spoon like until they have?
Are you close to civil war then?
How can they?
It's a tricky guess, so let's definitely not fall out inside the room. Because we're all about, we're on the same team. I think it's something we forget quite easily, actually. We forget we're on the same team. So we're on the same team, but in the UK they have a very pernicious way of controlling the population because people need to pay their mortgages. And so they just take somebody that speaks out and show how they crush them and take everything from them. Tommy Robinson is one thing ahead of me. On the 4th of July, he's back in the court, our highest court in the land. And he's there because he is charged with causing anxiety to the majority Pakistani Muslim men on their way into court where they were found guilty of the mass rape of our children. He's being charged, or he's being taken to court to see if he will be found guilty of causing them anxiety. So they crush you. And it's not that everybody is Tommy Robinson, they're not. And who chooses this? I do. But it's that a gentleman, my dad, nice guys I know, they need to pay their mortgage. And they go home to their wife. If they retweet my tweet, they're fired. They go home to their wife, they don't have a job. Their children need to be in a home. You see, this is the control. The control of things you need for your family, we will take away. Like they tried to take my children. That's a risk. So yeah, but it's okay. I think it's good. If there's a few of us out there fighting, it's all good. It's going to be okay. And forget not that because of Trump, we have Salvini in Italy. You know what he said to the migrants? You come here, I'm going to put you back, even if I have to put you on a pedalo, you're going home. We have Le Pen in France. Not only do we have Marine Le Pen, what did she do for the last election? She has found herself a 23-year-old, very good-looking young man. He came from the suburbs, under the Islamists, he's a migrant himself, he stands with Le Pen. She's sorted out the next generation. Swedish Democrats, the populists in Sweden, brilliantly outperforming everyone else. AFD, doing really well. There is real hope. You know, there is strong, you saw some of those politicians. Do you ever hear politicians speaking those things? I'm sorry for the subtitles, but you know, the tough truths. That's inside the EU. I mean, amazing. So there's real hope, you know, and I feel it. And I know that we're many, and they can't stand it. And the more that we speak, the more they hate it. That Trump tweet that he used, they are spitting. What all I was saying was the rate of that we're killing people in London is ridiculous, that the nipple-height Muslim mayor of Londonistan is simply no use at all, and that he does not speak for the rest of the UK because how he treated Trump was just horrific. So that's all that was, but the Muslims are going crazy because of that, so it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And that's how we fight back, is by continuing to speak up, and we say to the left, you are Frankenstein, and we are your monster. The more you try and silence us, the louder we become. So I promise you there's hope.
No,
How do we donate to
You can
you?
take 2 more questions.
How do we donate to you?
Yeah,
I'm not very good at asking.
you can talk to me about it,
Okay.
and I'll go take care of it, all right?
Okay.
So we have to protect the money, any money's coming in to help her out will go through us.
Okay.
Ken and I will take care of it,
Okay.
okay? We promise.
Hey, David.
Are you
Sweetie.
selling film?
Oh, no, it's given away for free. It's on YouTube. We're going to share the link with you. I did first upload it to Amazon Prime, but the Board of Deputies, the lobbying group for Jewish people in the UK, had it shut down. So it was deplatformed. I'm so sorry. It was the Jewish, the Muslim Council work in partnership with the Board of Deputies, and they shut it down. Yes, so then we put it on YouTube. So we're like this nasty stealth bacteria, we just keep coming out. And every time they squash us, I'm like, I'm still here! So, yeah, I'm going to get, it's on YouTube. The guys are going to put the link up for you, and Marie can also send the link round if she felt like doing that. She's going to shout at me.
No, that's okay. Anybody who would like to be able to donate something, you give me the check, make it out to Alert Long Island, and put down for Katie Hopkins, okay, in the memo, and I will make sure that she gets it.
Did you say I'm allowed to take one more question?
Well,
Who hasn't asked one? Matt, did you already ask one? I'm not big enough. Yeah, okay.
So I have one question and 2 remarks. One question that may be too personal and you do
Oh,
not.
no, nothing is too personal.
How
I don't have a
do
filter.
kids react to the fact that they're being scrutinized?
Oh, my children?
Yes.
Oh, so 2 things. One, children only really care about what's for tea. Like, literally. Literally, that is what they care about. So I could literally be gunned down in the street, and they'd still probably go to Dad and go, Dad, what's for tea? So let's remember that. They have a clear sense of priorities. They know what they're about. Number 2, they have the misfortune of knowing me. And they know me as the mum that's cleaning the toilet, the mum that likes to hoover, the mum that makes them a roast dinner if she can, the mum that shouts her head off but then is fine 2 minutes later, and the mum that's completely useless at finding. And so, in a way, it doesn't really matter what they all say or do, because they know that in my heart, I'm on their team and they're on mine, and I tell them every day, no matter what happens, no matter if you can't see me, I'm always here. You know, there was a chance that I didn't come back from my surgery. They took a big old bit of my head out, and that's the technical term. And I could never say goodbye to them because I couldn't bring myself to, but I drilled into them that I'll always be here. No matter where I am, I will always be here. Mummy will always be here watching. So there's some things I know they know. What will you do if you're ever in trouble? If I ask my kids, ring Mum, tell Mum. Mum will fix it. There's things I've drilled in. So we're all good, actually, and ultimately, they still do just care what's for tea.
We'll start to get the word out.